Hi, everyone. I'm here today to make a video message about an issue that's been talked about recently throughout the whole university, and it centers around complaints from both students and faculty around the issue of cameras being on during class time. The complaint from the student side is that you feel less connectivity to the classes or the learning process. You have anxiety about being seen on camera, and you also have anxiety about people seeing inside of your rooms, your places where you live, which is most likely your bedroom. On the faculty side, the complaints are also about connectivity, but they are also about the fact that most teachers are teaching to blank screens, where, if you're on Zoom, we're teaching to just names on the screen. And if we're on Google, we're teaching to initials on screen, dots that have initials on the screen. The other, also from the faculty, the reports are about disrespectfulness and a lack of professionalism. So, as the coordinator of the interior design program, I am making a decision that at your next class, the first order of business between yourselves and the professor is that you are going to discuss this situation and figure out what is the best way for you to proceed. Um, I know for a fact that all the interior design faculty would prefer that your cameras be on all the time. But also, the president of Kean University himself has said that we should not make that a requirement, that it is rather considered an intrusion. So, I'd like to try to find a happy medium between the two ways of thinking. So, step one is that as I said, the next class, the first class that you have after today, you should discuss it with your faculty member. I think that students, anybody that has anxiety about being on screen, if it is decided that your teacher can make it a requirement as part of your attendance and participation grade to have your cameras on, if you do have true anxiety about that, then you need to reach out individually to your professor for specific permission to keep watching the class without a camera on. But from this point on, faculty can use the fact that your camera is off as a lack of participation or a way to mark that your attendance, that you did not attend the class. And there is a rule that I am going to institute across the board that if your professor is bringing a guest to the class, that your cameras must be on for that. Now, that is a professionalism issue, absolutely. Okay, so if your teacher brings in a guest speaker, you must have your cameras on. And if you are in the situation that having being on camera gives you anxiety, that is where you need to work it out with your professor about how you can still be part of the class but yet have your cameras off. To address the idea about student anxieties, you have to consider that because we're having our classes virtual, there's no more driving to school, there's no more looking for parking as you get to school, and there's also no more stopping at Starbucks to get your coffee before you get to school as well. So, if that whole process had costed you an hour and a half, or even half of an hour, that time should be given back to getting yourself ready for class, just as if you were to come to class in person. Okay, so if you don't like the way that you look on camera, do a little bit of prep time in front of the mirror before class to get yourself ready. Okay, as professors, we don't really care how you look as long as you present yourself professionally. Now, the reason why we are starting the institute policy like this is because In the professional world, right, our job is to get you ready to be a professional designer. If you were to do a virtual meeting in the professional world, your camera has to be on. So even with a situation like this, we're taking this as an opportunity to get you ready for the professional work world. Okay? And then finally, if you have anxiety about the way that your background looks, if your teacher is using Zoom, then get a Zoom background. If you don't know how to do that, just Google it. It's very easy to do. I do it in all my classes. Or if your uh, professor is using Google Meet or Google Hangouts, whatever it is for Google, Google has an option to blur the background. Now, I don't happen to be on either of those platforms, so I can't show you that now. But again, if you don't know how to do that, just Google it. Google can make it look like that your background is sort of basically nothing. Okay? So the idea is we want to create this idea of connectivity even though we're on a virtual platform. And it's important that we start doing this now because next semester is going to be the same. We are not going to be doing classes in person next semester. And everything that I've just mentioned today is only pertinent to interior design classes. I don't know how your GE teachers, even design professors, are handling it, but everything that I've said holds true only for interior design classes. Okay, your INTDs. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys had a great Halloween yesterday, that you enjoyed the rest of your weekend after that, and that we will have a great semester, the great rest of the semester from here on in. And please, please get out and vote on Tuesday. Remember that there is no class Tuesday, November 3rd. All right, that's all for now. Take care.